Hey, what's up guys? How you doing? It is Lasty here. Welcome today to a new episode of the FIFA 19 Ultimate Team Road to Glory. This is episode number 197, and if you had a 197 rated team, it would be pretty decent. I think Bateson's got a 197, and it's full of prime icon moments and team of the years. Our squad's not quite that good, but I do like the look of it. Very colourful. Lots of different card designs, and it is what we are going to be playing our weekend league matches with today. But we start off with, this was like Saturday evening, Saturday night actually, is when I was playing these games. And then we'll move on to the final weekend league games tomorrow in that episode, and then the day after that, which will be Wednesday, I know the SBC will have expired by then, but I think I'm going to be taking on the mid-icon SBC simply because content, and I found a way that I can do it that doesn't cost the entire actual amount of coins. So yeah, look forward to that in a couple of days time. Who knows, maybe there'll be some little snippets of potential intel over on my Instagram or on Twitter, so of course make sure you're following them. Links are down below, and if you haven't already, do me a massive favor, hit that thumbs up on today's video. I'd really appreciate the support, and of course don't forget to subscribe if you're new. So yeah, it was at this point in time where I started getting the urge, the itch to complete this, so I thought I'd just have a look at what it takes, what it requires, and we'll come back to it in a couple of days, but for now we need to get through the bulk of content, which is the weekend league, and then like I said, we'll get the icon SBC done over the next couple of days, and then that will leave us a couple of days in the rest of the week to basically go ahead and try and complete one or two of those weekly objectives that we haven't done yet, which is Boateng or Milinkovic-Savic. If I can only get one, I'm more inclined to go towards Milinkovic-Savic, because I think he looks more usable. He looks like a better player. And that would just be because, Rivals is super difficult. You can do both at once. However, to do that means that you've got to score with a German and with a Serie A player and win a match of Rivals all at the same time in order to kill two birds with one stone. Whereas if I was to bring on three Serie A attackers, the likelihood that I would score my goals if I'm going to win that match would be with Serie A players is a lot higher. So I think that's probably the way that I'm going to do it, because Boateng doesn't necessarily interest me, and I think it would force me to play in a slightly different way, which is going to mean, try and force that ball to that Sane that I've got or whatever. I don't know if that'll work as well. But anyway, again, that's for later on in this week. But let me know in the comment section below if you've done any of the weekly objectives this week, and also let me know how you got on in the weekend league, considering that's the content that we're capturing today. Now, today's focus is really on MBAPPE and just how freaking good he is. I think he's up there with my favorite player this year. I know Cristiano Ronaldo was insanely good. You can't take it away from him. He's very, very usable, super meta player on the game. But in terms of enjoyability and someone that I typically just always get on with, it is MBAPPE, and well, Neymar as well. We don't currently own a Neymar, but MBAPPE is just honestly kind of the one. To be able to use this version of him, which is obviously a few ratings higher than what he started at this year, which is the one that we packed, which is probably one of the reasons why it gives me the feels a little bit to use MBAPPE. It's because he was such a huge jump start into our road to glory and getting a good pack, getting someone that's worth money and helping us to start working towards having the coins to be able to do an icon SBC and stuff. So you can see him here just working his magic through the defenders, and whether he's scoring the goals or creating them, he's getting those contributions. He is absolutely amazing. And if you haven't used him yet, even if it's the regular version of MBAPPE, I would honestly recommend giving him a try, just because, most people that I come up against probably have used MBAPPE, and a lot of people do own MBAPPE and put him in their team. But this birthday one, or what I can imagine the team of the year one to be as a weird goal goes in right there, I can't even imagine how amazing he would be compared to even the birthday one, who is next level. So yeah, we're 4-1 up in this game right here. This guy had some lone icon moments and some actual full icons as well. So I was a little bit nervous at the start of the game, and then I think actually as you get into a game against someone who's stacking their team with loads of icons or like lone players, it's not necessarily the most difficult thing. If they're used to using them and stuff, then yeah, obviously you could be in trouble. However, if it is just a bunch of lone players, typically they don't have the greatest of clubs, which doesn't necessarily mean they play the most FIFA, which actually means they're probably quite beatable, in my opinion. Whereas obviously you can be a bit nervous if you come up against someone who's got like a stacked team with 1 or 2 lone icons in it, just because, well, maybe they're just trying someone out before they go ahead and complete the full version, if you know what I mean. So yeah, this game right here, what I would notice about my play style and what I'm doing, I've upped my La Croqueta game again, which is something I struggled to defend against. So obviously, if I struggle to defend against it, there's a good reason to say that my opponents might as well. But I was not being super clinical. I was kind of playing like a bit of an idiot and coming up against some players which I would consider myself better than, and actually making it difficult for myself, which is just classic Lasty at this point. But we have Ibra on in the second half, so of course a little header from a corner. He is still one of those major players which defenders struggle to deal with when it comes to actual like aerial battles and stuff. So that pushes us up to 6 wins. So we go from 2 and 2 or 3 and 2 and 2 I was at one point, right, to 6 and 2. So at least we're pushing on and not taking losses in this little spell as well. Now this guy's got a 91 Pele and an 88 Vieira. Now if he got them from the mid-icon SB, and no, Pele, that's baby Pele. If he got baby Pele from the baby icon SBC and then he got middle Vieira from that SBC, you've got to be one of the luckiest people out there. So yeah, that's the sort of luck that I need to harness and like hone in on for when I do the SBC in a couple days time. 1-0 up against this guy, and it took until the 85th minute to score my second one, and it was a disgusting El Tornado cross to Zlatan. But hey, it is the weekend league. You got to do what you got to do. This guy's had a really nice team, and he worried me all game. And would you believe it? 87 and then 91 minutes, he scored 2 goals to get back in this freaking match. And I am like, I'm so angry at this point that I'm about to like end up going to extra time against someone that I've led for the entire match for. But so luckily I get through from kickoff and just, I mean, over 3 minutes into extra time, when there was only 3 minutes on the clock, I've been able to score a winning goal right at the end there, which is huge. You know, that was a good team and a good opponent to beat. So I came out of that one super motivated and nearly lost it because obviously letting those 2 late goals in, I was like, my head was starting to go, but we just about held on and actually got the winner and move on to the next one. So lots of like icons and decent players and colourful squads is typically the way that this game is going right now. A nice head down from Richarlison to the volley of Aubameyang. That was a nice way to score a goal. It wasn't just your typical El Tornado cross and goal. There was another element to it. But I was unable to defend against, I think it was Crespo at the front post, to then knock it onto Tevez, who taps it in obviously nice and easily. But Richarlison whips one back stick and MBAPPE rises higher than that defender to just nod it home. Absolute king. I love him. I really do. And it is once again that Frenchman cutting inside, playing it into Nedved, giving himself an option out wide again. El Tornado cross. Richarlison's at the back post. If that's what works, that's what works. Now, I get scored upon fairly frequently, I would say, but I probably score them more often than I get scored on them. But if I could constantly do that, which is use a skill move to cut inside and then keep the ball and then score the goal, I would obviously do that. But the easiest thing and the most effective way to score the goals is to get the ball in the air and whip it into the back post to someone with good aerial ability. You know that that's how my squad is built. MBAPPE can win headers. Obviously, Richarlison can win headers. So can Aubameyang. And then in the second half, Ivan Perisic and Ibra come on, and they can obviously both win the headers as well. It's what works on the games, is obviously what I'm going to use to score my goals. But if I can work the La Croquetas in and get a nice low-driven shot, I do it as much as I can as well. So 8 and 2 now. So from 2 and 2 up to 8 and 2 is actually not too bad. Pretty happy with that. We move on to the next game. This guy's got an odd squad. Like there's a couple of gods in there. Baby Vieira, Frankie de Jong. But then he's got centre-back Lukaku and a red Willy Bolly. So I felt like I was going to be confident at scoring against this guy. But I might have taken this opponent a little bit like I might have underestimated him somewhat, because I actually find myself like 2-0 down in the first 30 minutes of this game. I mean, the way that he scores the second one is a little bit fortunate for him, and it did wake me up. That was definitely a good wake-up call. Aubameyang whips it out to Mbappe, 1-2s it back again, and back to Aubameyang. Strike that ball, but hey, we get our own slice of luck. It falls to Richarlison, who scores the goal. Just like that second goal from my opponent was fairly lucky, and the way that the ball bounces back to the attacker, it happened exactly the same for us right there. And then Richarlison I'd say he's as good in the air as like Arnautovic was, as Ivan Perisic is. Maybe not as good as Ibra. I don't know if there's anyone as good as Ibra and Ronaldo in the air, but yeah, he certainly does well. We win a penalty here and actually turn this game around in the first half. So we were 2-0 down. We've brought it back. I was definitely a better player than this guy. I deserved the win against this guy. I was creating more chances, even though I had slightly less possession. But I sloppily give away a penalty. He gets his hat-trick with Memphis Depay. All of a sudden, he's fully back in the game, and I need to wake up again. Torreira into Nedved. Nedved plays it to Aubameyang. Turn that defender nicely. Spot an open Nedved. And, I mean, the way that goes in is kind of lucky. I wanted to just tap it near post, but it didn't quite work out that way. And then Willian runs up the other end and scores again. I just cannot get the beating of this guy, which obviously means that even now I'm probably underestimating the fact that he was able to score against me multiple times. Yeah, I've said that I was a better player. I deserved the win. Maybe not. I don't know. I might have just been super asleep. But we finally get a fifth goal there, and this one right here will finally take us 2 goals in the lead, which is the first time that's happened to me in this match right here. Needed that big time, and then actually right towards the end, we get another header there with Ivan Perisic. He started moving his goalkeeper, but I felt like I still needed to whip that ball to the back post as opposed to just tap it into the front post, because there was still more of a chance of that one flying in the back of the net and solidifying the win in this game. So Silver 2 is where we're at right now. 9-2 right now. So 11 matches played and only 2 losses had. That is where we're going to end this episode. I typically like to get up to 9 wins, leave 5 for the next episode for you guys. But yeah, I wonder what's going to happen. Well, if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, then maybe you already know what my eventual weekend league score was. We need to work on this stuff later on in the week, you know, getting the goals in rivals and getting the wins in rivals to try and win Milinkovic-Savic and stuff. But for now, I mean, look at my Aubameyang's contribution per game record. It's nuts. He has by far been like my most used player this year in the attacking role. Nedved's is looking pretty positive as well. And then 39 goals, 25 assists in 41 games from MBAPPE. That's god tier. That's next level. He's really contributing well. That's why this video is about him. That is why he is amazing, and I highly recommend him. Give him a shot if you haven't done so already, and I pretty much guarantee you're going to be happy with the player that you get. So guys, that is going to wrap things up for the Road to Glory for this episode. Like I said, we'll continue on our weekend league journey in the next one, finish off there, get to gold 3, see how easy that is, and then well towards the end or towards the middle of the week on Wednesday, we'll do a live episode where I complete our mid icon SBC before it expires. So obviously I would have recorded it on like Sunday night or something, and then we'll see what happens with that and see if we can get maybe a good one, maybe an awful one, but hey, it is going to be the luck of the draw. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new. Don't forget to follow the Twitter, the Instagram. Those links will be found down below. Have a lovely day, most importantly, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.